Points, the big talking point, the Prime Ministers of India and Australia, Modi and Albanese, in a cricket friendly. Is this soft diplomacy or simply building up cult politics? That's going to be the big talking point on the news today. Also, as the liquor gate trail leads to Telangana, we'll be joined by the BRS leader K Kavita. She's the one who's in the line of fire next. More on the news today, but first, as always, the 9 headlines at 9. After the CBI, now the Enforcement Directorate arrests Manish Sisodia after 2 days of grilling in the Liquorgate case. Kejriwal calls it a plot to keep Sisodia in jail. If you have proof, come and arrest me. BRS leader K Kavita dares the ED in an exclusive interview to India Today. She will appear before the Directorate on Saturday in the Delhi Liquorgate case. India-Australia cricket diplomacy on the high in Ahmedabad. Prime Minister Modi and his Australian counterpart Anthony Albanese attend the 4th test between the two teams. Congress accuses Modi of self-obsession while taking a lap of honour in a stadium named after him. US intel report on India's border situation says it fears increased India-Pak and India-China tension, as India is more likely to respond with military force now than in the past. Karnataka bribegate accused BJP MLA Madal Virupakshappa appears before the Lok Ayukta. This just days after the allegedly absconding Neta resurfaced after getting anticipatory bail. Widows of Pulwama braves stage a protest in Jaipur after an assault from Rajasthan police. Anger mounts against the Gehlot government. BJP says Congress betrayed the Pulwama heroes. Rivals turn allies in Nagaland. Sharad Pawar extends support to the NDPP-BJP government with 7 seats. NCP is the largest party in the assembly outside of the combine. Toxic smoke chokes Kochi after a blaze at a waste plant. Kochi fire rages for 7 days now and counting. School shut. Mask advisory issued. An actor and director Satish Kaushik passes away at 67. Tributes pour in from the Bollywood fraternity. But our top focus tonight is what is described as cricket diplomacy that took place at the Narendra Modi Stadium in Ahmedabad. Prime Minister Modi and Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese virtually kicked off the proceedings of the 4th test between India and Australia. The two leaders led a colourful celebration at the world's largest cricket stadium to mark 75 years of India-Australia cricket, including doing a lap of honour. The opposition says this is an exercise of self-obsession, as the stadium in which this was held is named after the Prime Minister. The BJP has dismissed that, saying it shows India's soft power. Either way, what exactly happens beyond the boundary when two Prime Ministers meet is our top story tonight.
प्राइम मिनिस्टर ये स्टेडियम में आ रहे हैं इनॉग्रेशन के लिए, मैच स्टार्ट ओपनिंग के लिए, इसलिए बहुत ज़्यादा एक्साइटमेंट है अभी।
आज के मैच के लिए एक्साइटेड है कि मेन तो अपना इंडिया है और उसके बाद यहाँ पे नरेंद्र मोदी जी आने वाले हैं।
नरेंद्र मोदी के लिए भी खास है।
हाँ जी।
The world's largest cricket stadium is hosting the game's most competitive rivals. But on Thursday, it also witnessed a cricket friendly.
And as I said, this match being played in the backdrop of India-Australia friendship and
Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese took the crease for an elaborate celebration of 75 years of Indo-Australian cricket. The leaders of the two nations that share not just robust trade ties but also a strategic relationship got a rousing welcome at the Narendra Modi Stadium in Ahmedabad. They were treated to music by Falguni Shah and a little folk dance before they took the field.
We'll get his cap from the Honourable Prime Minister of India.
Modi and Albanese first handed over the caps to the cricket captains. Then the skippers led the two leaders to their respective teams, introducing each player.
As the two Honourable Prime Ministers
all followed by a lap around the stadium in a specially designed rath. Two leaders also watched a bit of cricket before leaving the stadium. The spectacle, however, sparked a political row.
अगर ये आत्ममुग्धता ना होती तो प्रधानमंत्री महंगाई की, बेरोजगारी की, आर्थिक असमानता की, चीन की और अडानी की बात करते। लेकिन ये आत्ममुग्धता ही तो है जिसके चलते उसके आगे देख ही नहीं पा रहे हैं। जहां देखो कैमरे पर सिर्फ मोदी जी ही नजर आते हैं। खैर, इससे हमें कोई दिक्कत नहीं है एज लॉन्ग एज मोदी जी इस देश के मुद्दों पर बात करें, लेकिन वो मुद्दों से कतराते हैं, विषय से घबराते हैं।
Congress leader Jairam Ramesh tweeted the whole exercise was proof of Modi's self-obsession. The BJP promptly hit back.
जयराम रमेश जी ने एक बड़ी ही ओछी भाषा के साथ ट्वीट किया जो उनकी मानसिकता और उनकी पार्टी की मानसिकता को दर्शाता है। सेल्फ ऑब्सेशन पता किसको कहते हैं? जो जवाहरलाल नेहरू जी में थी, जो इंदिरा गांधी में थी, जिन्होंने खुद को ही, अपने आप को ही भारत रत्न दे दिया, इसको सेल्फ ऑब्सेशन कहते हैं।
This is not the first time India is practicing cricket diplomacy. On the last occasion, Prime Minister Manmohan Singh had hosted Pakistani Prime Minister Yusuf Raza Gilani during the 2011 World Cup. But how productive is cricket diplomacy? Bureau Report, India Today.
And that's exactly what I want to raise tonight. Is this soft diplomacy that's working, or is it personality cult politics? Does cricket diplomacy work? How do India-Australia ties actually benefit? Image building exercise by Prime Minister as the opposition alleges? Just some of the issues we'll raise. G. Parthasarthi is a former High Commissioner to Australia and also a great cricket fan. Sanju Verma is a BJP spokesperson. And Ami Yagnik is Congress MP. I appreciate all of you joining us. Let me get this first from you, Mr. Parthasarthi. When you see those visuals, do you see that as the opposition alleges, self-obsession, personality cult politics, or do you see it as effective diplomacy using sport?
Well, I wouldn't like to politicize this. In fact, I'd call it a bit of imaginative diplomacy. Anthony Albanese is an Australian Prime Minister who is really moving the process forward after our own relations forward. We're playing a cricket match and it turns out that it is taking place on his way to the United States to meet President Biden. So, as I said, if you see recently in the World International Football Tournament in Qatar, you had the French president as an invitee because France was playing in the final. He was a guest of the Qatar government. So I think we shouldn't be oversensitive. As I said, in fact, when everybody was critical of the Pakistan Prime Minister being invited, I said, why not? If you're playing cricket, why can't you invite the Prime Minister? So you shouldn't confuse cricket and politics. But yes, there is a diplomatic gain because both Australia and India are friendly countries, and we are talking of cooperation across both the Indian and Pacific Oceans, something which we've never done in the Quad. And therefore, if he comes here, and he is a cricket fan. When I was in Australia, Howard, the Australian Prime Minister, told me that he would have been delighted to visit India during a test match. So you should take it in that spirit and not politicize. I wouldn't politicize anything, but then I'm not in politics.
So you're saying don't politicize it.
But as far as diplomacy is concerned,
you're saying it's imaginative diplomacy. Cricket is something. Cricket is intrinsic in a way to the Australian way of life. So
yes, I think for
sorry, do complete. Yes, Mr. Parthasarthi.
Well, all I can say is that this does work.
Yes.
All I can say is this does work. Australians appreciate it. You're as a country you're building relations with. And you invite the Prime Minister to a test match. And the Australians, I said Prime Minister Howard was cricket crazy. And I wouldn't be surprised if Prime Minister Albanese is similarly so.
Okay, let me
So,
let
if
me
it
take what you are
coincides,
saying
then
to
we
let me
step
now
up our
take what you
pro-
are saying to Ami Yagnik, because Ami Yagnik, you're a member of parliament from Gujarat. Jairam Ramesh is calling it self-obsession, suggesting that here is the Prime Minister of the country doing a lap of honor in a stadium named after him, being given a photograph by Jai Shah of himself. I mean, is this being excessively critical? I'm going to show you pictures now that when y'all were in power, Manmohan Singh was doing cricket diplomacy with President Musharraf of Pakistan. So we've had with Prime Minister Gilani of Pakistan. So you've had examples where Indian Prime Ministers have used cricket to try and build bridges. When Mr. Modi does it, how does it become self-obsession?
I think there is no issue of this kind of a diplomacy taking place. I think whatever you have quoted about the Member of Parliament, he has used the word self-obsession. Now let me remind you one thing, that this stadium in Ahmedabad, in Gujarat, I think I have been seeing the stadium from my childhood, or maybe when I was in college, and it was named as Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel Stadium. And Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel is the Iron Man of India. And we have a statue of unity in Gujarat. Now just to strip off that stadium of that name, just to remove Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel one fine day and put the Honorable Prime Minister has put his own name there, I think that nobody could question. Of course, Gujarat's Asmita took a backseat. Many people raised their concerns from various spheres of Gujarat, but nothing happened. So the question here is that he named it, he took the name of the stadium of our laudable leader, very tall leader, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, and put his own. He then became the chief guest there, of course, because he's the Honorable Prime Minister. There is nothing wrong with the diplomacy taking place, cricket diplomacy, whether it is soft diplomacy, whatever they talked about, issues of both the countries. Maybe they were friendly or maybe they were important issues, no problem. But all the time, if you see that only the Honorable Prime Minister is in the frame, a photograph of his own self is given to him by his very close and near dear person as the son. And then he also has a lap of honor where the stadium is named after him. He has named the stadium. So something shows that there is something I, me and myself. That was I think the sense I got from the whole thing. But diplomacy, well, it can be in any
So you're
form.
saying I, me, myself.
Desired results.
You're saying that there is an element
out of it.
Okay, you're saying there's an element of I, me, myself. You want to respond to that, Sanju Verma, much of a muchness. When a stadium is named after a living Prime Minister, the Prime Minister does a lap of honor there. Photographs are there of the Prime Minister given to him at the time. Was it a bit excessive in your view?
Rajdeep, I think I'll start by first saying that what is diplomacy? I mean, diplomacy is basically, the velvet glove that cloaks the fist of power. And I think that definition suits Prime Minister Modi to the T. And I'll tell you why. As you said at the very outset, cricket diplomacy is not something alien to India's foreign policy ethos. I remember that in 1987, Rajiv Gandhi, the then Prime Minister, had invited Ziaul Haq to come and watch a cricket match in India. And this was when the Code Brass Tacks operation was still going on. And Code Brass Tacks was basically to tackle the high infiltration from Pakistan into India, and border tensions were high. But Rajiv Gandhi used the cricket diplomacy route. And much later, in April 2005, Manmohan Singh invited General Musharraf to come and watch a cricket match in India. And in 2011, Manmohan Singh invited his Pakistani counterpart, Yusuf Gilani, again to come and be India's guest while India hosted him to the semi-finals of the World Cup cricket match between India and Pakistan in 2011. So point number one, cricket diplomacy is something that has worked in the past, and I don't think Prime Minister Modi doing a lap of honor shows that he's narcissistic. In fact, I have just this to say to you, Rajdeep.
No. Are you saying that it is not narcissistic to have a stadium named after yourself while you're living, and then you do a lap of honor in the same stadium and photographs of yourself are distributed, and dare I say, half the tickets were given as complimentaries to BJP supporters? Are you saying that that doesn't smack of politics and narcissism?
May I please? Rajdeep, you've asked an important question. Now let me just tell you. A right to information query that was raised in 2013 and the ex-Vice President of India, Venkaiah Naidu, spoke about this on the floor of the parliament. 450 schemes, buildings, projects, institutions, awards have been named after the Nehru-Gandhi dynasty. Nehru, Jawaharlal Nehru Institute of Postgraduate Medical Education and Research, Pondicherry, Jawahar Bal Bhavan, Thrissur in Kerala, Jawahar Bharati College in Andhra Pradesh, Jawaharlal Nehru Center for Advanced Scientific Research, Bangalore, Karnataka, Jawaharlal Nehru Engineering College, Aurangabad, Maharashtra, Jawaharlal
Ma'am,
Nehru
if you
Government
continue with the
Engineering
list,
College,
we'll finish our time. It's a long list. I am aware of it.
Vidyalaya, Jabalpur, Madhya
Ma'am,
Pradesh,
I'm aware of it.
Jawaharlal Medical
Ma'am,
College,
I'm aware of
Ajmer,
it. If you go on.
Jawaharlal Medical College, Aligarh, Jawaharlal Medical College, Belgaum, Jawaharlal Nehru Medical College, Bhagalpur, Jawaharlal Nehru National College of Engineering, Shimoga, Karnataka, Jawaharlal Nehru.
Ma'am, as I said, we have limited time. If you start going through the end, producer, if you go through the entire list, it will never end. But you know, Amiben Yagnik, while you are holding your head, just a minute, ma'am. You made a very effective point. Let her respond. Ami Yagnik, while you are holding your head, the point which will be made is Jawaharlal Nehru gave himself the Bharat Ratna. Umpteen stadiums are named after Indira Gandhi, Jawaharlal Nehru, Rajiv Gandhi. Airports are named after that. So if a stadium is named after Narendra Modi and he does a lap of honor with the Australian Prime Minister in that stadium, why should the Congress be getting hot under the collar?
There should be no issue. There is nothing wrong in this. You know, I completely agree with the list. And that is the contribution of the Jawaharlal Nehru post-independence in a country which did not even have anything. And see where we are with all these fine institutions in place, all the sports complexes in place. We had the Asian Games in '84. So perfectly fine. Good that the list is shown to the people and the contribution of what happened in the last 70 years. And today, no, my point is only that this stadium was named after Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. Why would you not make your own stadium, a new one? And you did not have faith that there will be no stadium after you are not here in India or wherever. But then you strip off that name, you put your own name there, and that is why it's some kind of a self-obsession. That is the only point I am making, where there can be cricket diplomacy. The examples you have quoted, every time you quote an example, I know the current ruling party does not have any ideas of its own. It doesn't have any innovative ideas. It doesn't have any vision. So you always go back and find out what has been done earlier and you replicate that. So that is also not an issue. So you did that, so we are doing it.
No,
you did that, you also did that.
Miss Amiben Yagnik, your leader, your leader, Jairam Ramesh today claimed it was an example of self-obsession. Please, you know, why did your leader then call it self-obsession? If your leader calls it self-obsession, you're now coming on my show and saying, no, it's not self-obsession. Am I correct? Did Jairam Ramesh then exaggerate when he used the word self-obsession?
I am saying, I made it clear that it is I, me and myself. See, I think this diplomacy would have been very good. It might turn out to be good, but where is the Honorable Prime Minister have the time for the issues of this country? Fine, this diplomacy is good in its own place, but the real question which needs to be answered today, there are so many issues on the ground about governance. Where are they? So people will definitely talk about it.
Okay.
That, well, you are promoting yourself by naming a stadium which was not your name.
You're saying that the stadium which was named after Sardar Patel. Okay,
and then
you made that point, ma'am.
And that is why I'm talking
you made
about
that point. You made that point. Let Mr. Parthasarathi, it's very interesting that for almost 2 decades we didn't have visits between Indian and Australian Prime Ministers. In the last decade we've had more visits than we had in the previous 2 decades. Is that what we should be celebrating in a way today? The fact, as you said, that we are now with Australia in a strategic partnership through Quad, that there is a far greater increase in commerce between the two countries. There are contentious issues like coal, which both the countries need to address, and green energy. But by and large, would you say that that's what we should be looking at rather than the images that I'm playing on my screen of simply the two prime ministers walking with the cricketers?
I think it's absurd to politicize the visit of an Australian Prime Minister. I was there when relations were so difficult after our nuclear tests and one had to stand up and tell them off. But right now, look at the fact, that's the fact of the past. But look at where it has reached now. You have the Prime Minister come here. He's on his way to United States. And it turns out that it is convenient for him to be taken to a cricket match. Why not? I mean, Australia is a cricket crazy country. You're going to build a lot of goodwill there, taking the Prime Minister there. And I'm not into politicizing everything. Cricket is a game. Please treat it as a game. And it's a game which our nation cherishes, relishes, which every youngster Indian likes to play. I played it all my way through college, and I still love the game. And I'll go anywhere, whether or not there is an Australian Prime Minister, to see a good cricket match with the Indians doing well.
Right. There is an image now that I'm showing. Jai Shah handing over a picture of the Prime Minister to the Prime Minister. Now, Jairam Ramesh has made a huge issue out of it, saying this is self-obsession. Somewhere, Sanju Verma, you've said, look at all the stadiums named after the Nehru Gandhis. I've even given the example of Bharat Ratna that Nehru was seen to have given to himself. Do you though believe that cricket should be kept apart from this? Why bring in the politicians in the first place? Celebrate cricket with cricketers.
Rajdeep, I believe that, cricket, movies, as we know, Bollywood has been a cementing bridge between India and many other countries, local cuisine. I mean, these are all parts of what we today term as soft diplomacy. And I think soft diplomacy started in full earnest when for the first time, after Prime Minister Modi took charge, he ensured that 21st June is celebrated worldwide as the International Yoga Day. And I think, rather than talking about the lack of honor with the Australian Prime Minister, let's not forget that today India is the proud host of G20, which represents 85% of global GDP, 66% of world population, 75% of world trade. We just relinquished our chair as the non-permanent member of the United Nations Security Council. And out of 192 countries, I remember 2 years back, when we were made the chair, 184 countries voted in India's favor. That's more than a 96% strike rate, which shows how popular Prime Minister Modi's policy is, which mixes the best of both.
So you're saying this is evidence of soft power. Ami Ben Yagnik, did you go and watch the match in Ahmedabad, or did you stay away from the stadium?
No, I did not. I wasn't well, that's why.
Okay, otherwise you might have gone, right?
They gave Sardar Patel a Bharat Ratna in 1991, 41 years after his death. Indira Gandhi gave herself a Bharat Ratna in 1971. Nehru gave himself a Bharat Ratna in 1955.
Okay.
And these people have the audacity to lecture the BJP.
Okay.
Please look at your own backyard and get rid of your hypocrisy. We don't need the Congress to give us bhashan on foreign policy.
Okay.
You are an electorally vanquished party. You have no political morality or political credibility left. That's the hard truth.
You made your point, Sanju Verma. Ami Yagnik, I appreciate your joining us even though you're not well. And G Parthasarathy, thank you also very much for joining me here tonight. Cricket diplomacy. It is perhaps a powerful weapon to build bridges beyond the boundary, especially with cricket-crazy countries like Australia. Let's turn from there to the big political story playing out domestically. The Enforcement Directorate on Thursday arrested Delhi's former Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia in the Liquorgate scam. The arrest comes a day before his bail hearing was scheduled in the CBI case against him. The ED had already questioned him for 8 hours today. The central agency is tightening its noose also on the BRS MLC from Hyderabad, K Kavita. The ED has summoned Kavita now on Saturday in connection with Delhi's Liquorgate amid suggestions that the liquor trail leads from Delhi to Telangana. Take a look.
The Liquorgate fire is spreading from Delhi to Telangana. The Enforcement Directorate is set to question K Kavita on Saturday. Kavita, BRS leader and daughter of Telangana Chief Minister K Chandrasekhar Rao, was to appear before the ED on Thursday, but had requested a fresh date. Facing charges of corruption in the alleged liquor gate scam, Kavita unleashed a series of attacks on the Narendra Modi government.
फ्रेंडली उनके जितने भी पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज होते हैं उन पे कोई रेड नहीं होता है। फ्रेंडली उनके जितने भी बिजनेस हाउसेस है उन पे कोई रेड नहीं होता है। उन सब के लिए तो 7 खून माफ़ हो जाते हैं। अब अदानी जी ले लीजिए, बाकी बहुत लोग हैं, उन पे तो कुछ नहीं होता है। और आज तो इतना चर्चा है पूरे देश भर में कि देश में डबल इंजन सरकार चल रहा है। और ये 2 इंजन कौन है देश में? एक इंजन प्रधानी है, दूसरा इंजन अदानी है।
The ED claims Kavita holds 65% stake in Indo Spirits, one of the alleged beneficiaries of the AAP government's liquor policy in Delhi that was scrapped last year. The agency claims Arun Ramachandran Pillai, who is now in custody, acted as a front for the BRS leader.
अरुण पिल्लई को जानती हैं क्योंकि उनकी शायद ईडी को लेकर के आपसे सवाल करने वाली है, उनसे आमना सामना होगा।
आपको ईडी का बहुत जानकारी है भाई, अंदर से कोई इन्फॉर्मेशन आ रहा है क्या? ईडी जो भी पूछेंगे हम उनका जवाब दे देंगे, आप टेंशन मत लीजिए।
The ED summons to Kavita have raised the political temperatures in Telangana, where assembly elections are scheduled later this year.
తప్పకుండా కవిత గారైనా ఎవరైనా కూడా అవినీతి పరులు అయితే వాళ్ళకుంటే తప్పు చేయలేనప్పుడు కోర్టును ఆశ్రయించాలి, వాళ్ళు న్యాయం నిరూపించుకోవాలి, వాళ్ళు తప్పు చేయని విషయం నిరూపించుకోవాలి. అవినీతి విషయంలో నరేంద్ర మోడీ ప్రభుత్వం చాలా సీరియస్ ఉన్నది. ఇది భారతీయ జనతా పార్టీకి సంబంధం లేదు. కేసీఆర్ కొడుకు అన్నిట్లో స్పందిస్తాడు, అన్నిట్లో మురుగుతాడు, అన్నిట్లో వాగుతాడు. మరి అని ఇంతవరకు కనీసం స్పందించాలి. ఇది వాస్తవ ఫ్యాక్ట్, ఇది నిజమా. ఒక్కటి ఏంటంటే కేసీఆర్ ఫ్యామిలీకి ఒక ఫ్యాషన్గా మారింది.
They are using ED as a tool to harass other opposition parties. Even more strangers, even before ED sends summons, the entire local BJP will start speaking. పంపించేస్తాము, రేపు సమన్లు వస్తాయి, ఎల్లుండి సమన్లు వస్తాయి. So is it not a fact that ED, IT and CBI are extended arms of Narendra Modi?
The BJP sees Telangana as a potential growth area in South India. The liquor gate scam in Delhi is set to figure prominently in its Telangana campaign, while it mars KCR's national ambitions. Bureau Report, India Today.
So how is K Kavita going to defend herself against the charges? She spoke to me earlier today. Listen in. Hello and welcome to this India Today special, where we are joined by a very special guest. The newsmaker of the day is K Kavita, the BRS MLC and daughter of the Telangana Chief Minister K Chandrasekhar Rao, who finds herself, ma'am, in the center of a controversy. There is a feeling that you could be the next person to be arrested in the Delhi liquor excise policy case after Manish Sisodia. All eyes are on K Kavita. You've been called by the ED. In fact, you were called today. You should be actually addressing questions of the ED, not of Rajdeep Sardesai.
So nevertheless, RD is always better than ED. I'm very happy to be talking to you. And
are you evading ED questions?
Not at all, not at all. I won't, I will not, because first of all, I've done nothing wrong. Second of all, I have dur se no connection with the case and the allegations that they're putting on me. And primary point being, I believe this is nothing but a diversion tactics by the Bharatiya Janata Party to, target opposition leaders and call them to ED. Then the whole media is around them for that day. So nobody talks about price rise, nobody talks about anything else. And per se, in my case, tomorrow I'm doing a dharna on women reservation bill, which is very, very important bill. But today you and I are talking about ED, not the women reservation bill.
No, because, the fact is you were supposed to appear before the ED today. You say you're not going to evade that questioning. You will go on the 11th, which is the next date that they've given you. You're not running away from the ED.
Not at all.
You're saying dur se hamara koi rishta nahi hai. Now the ED says that Arun Pillai, who's been arrested last week, is essentially a frontman for you in Indo Spirits, a company which has been a big beneficiary from the Delhi liquor alleged scam. Your ex-chartered accountant was arrested last month. Akshay Boinapalli, who's a son of a TRS leader, has been arrested. Samir Mahindru, who is a businessman, who is the owner of Indo Spirits, has been arrested. All of this is slowly coming towards you, particularly after Arun Pillai's arrest.
राजीव जी, मैं एक बात पूछती हूँ. आपने बहुत देखा होगा, ED also you've seen earlier work. Did they advertise all of this? What ED right now does is they want the media trial to happen even before anything happens. And they specifically leak information to media when they have nothing to prove. This entire episode started in August last year when they started raiding many people. They've done more than 500 raids. They found nothing. And they've raided and raided and raided, and they've abused many people left, right and center. They've beaten up people. They've forcefully made them say names. They've done a lot of things. One person who was beaten up, whose eardrum broke, had filed a writ petition in Telangana High Court saying ED is doing excess and I should not be called back to ED. Another person arrested in the same case said it is nothing but political harassment. They're only asking me to give away names, only political names. I'm not going to do it. He filed a writ petition in Telangana High Court. Both of them are pending. So the entire nature of this investigations with all whatever names you said is basically irrelevant, and they spin a narrative and they want to put me in between the conversation.
Now, you don't know any of these names that I've named. You don't know Arun Pillai, you don't know Samir Mahendru, you don't know Akshay Boinapalli, you don't know your ex-chartered accountant. These are not names that you know?
No.
Who all been arrested in this case?
I know Rajdeep ji, I know Maria Shekil, I know 100 other people. Now, after this interview, what Mr. Rajdeep will do outside of this interview, how am I concerned? And if you are telling me that just because you and I spend half an hour together, I should be responsible for whatever you do, that is one aspect. Second aspect, and till date, nobody knows what is a scam. One BJP leader says it is 1 lakh crore scam. Other BJP leader says it's a 1,000 crore scam. Other BJP leader says that I paid 100 crores to Manish Sisodia. I did not even meet the gentleman till now. Why
You've never met Manish Sisodia?
I've never met Manish Sisodia in my entire life.
You haven't
Not even accidentally in an event we haven't met.
You know, but the ED states in its charge sheet that Arun Pillai, who's been arrested last week, disclosed that there was a deal between K Kavita and Arvind Kejriwal-led AAP in exchange for 100 crore kickbacks. Kavita got access to the Delhi liquor business, specifically stakes in Indo Spirit. Arun Pillai was representing Kavita and Indo Spirit, even became a partner on her behalf. They've even given details of meetings that you've allegedly held in Hotel Oberoi Maidens here in Delhi.
Sir, all I'm telling you is, today in this interview, I'll openly say, I have given 1,000 crores to Mr. Narendra Modi. And I'll tell you 100 names, 100 things, 100 places. Will the ED put a case on Mr. Modi? If you put a person inside ED interrogation room for more than 30 days, you're calling these people repeatedly, harassing these people repeatedly, making them say names and things that does not concern me. How am I responsible? And what kind of torture is this, calling every businessman, whoever is going from Hyderabad to do some business somewhere in Delhi? Why am I in between, in the middle of anything?
Because specifically your name is coming again and again. The ED claimed during interaction with Samir Mahendru, it was made clear to him the ultimate control of 65% stake in his business was with K Kavita. Pillai also confirmed he had arranged FaceTime video calls with Kavita and Samir Mahendru being the owner of Indo Spirits, which is allegedly a big beneficiary of the Delhi liquor. Now they're giving specifics, they're giving instances and claiming there were meetings that were held. Can you deny it all?
Absolutely, sir. That's what I'm saying.
Are you saying all these confessions are extracted under duress?
Absolutely. Why I say this, and this I should be in fact saying it in front of ED, not you, because they might now put a new case on me saying you're discussing case details outside. Again, I'll say, sir, just to be on the periphery, not to go into the details, I have nothing to do with the case. Whatever has been extracted out of anybody or anything, if ED has any questions, I'll certainly answer them. If they have any proofs, let them present it to me. Let them do whatever the legal course of action they want to do, but why advertise it in the media? All I'm saying is, now what they have done, they arrest one person, they put that remand report in the media, they do a 24-hour thing. After 1 week, they'll arrest one other person. Whenever Mr. Amit Shah comes to Hyderabad, one person will be arrested. When Mr. Modi comes to Hyderabad, one other person will be arrested. There is a cycle, there is a method, there is a targeted way in which the entire BJP system works to malign the opposition candidates. One of the victims is me, but I'm not the target. Target is my father and our leader, Mr. KCR. They want to stop him. They don't want him to go out of the state and campaign in the rest of the country. They want to stop him, and they believe that if they can raid and harass our party people, including me, they can stop him. But that is not going to happen. Leaders in this nation are strong. They will stand up to whatever kind of tactics, intimidating tactics that this Bharatiya Janata Party is doing, we will stall them, and we will certainly raise important questions like women reservation bill, like price rise. We will keep raising them.
You're saying you've never met Manish Sisodia in your life.
No, I don't.
Have you met Vijay Nair, the Aam Aadmi Party's communication in charge, who's also spent the last 5 months in jail? It is alleged that the deal was facilitated by Vijay Nair and you on behalf of the so-called South group of distillers who cornered major benefits, and Vijay Nair struck this deal. Have you met Vijay Nair?
All I'm saying is this, sir. I have definitely met a lot of people in my life. But what these people do and what my meeting with you will have to do with what you do outside. I have no knowledge of what you do outside. I don't want to. My interaction would be limited with you for a certain issue, aspect, for this interview probably. But what will I do after that? Why am I responsible for your action? That is my simple question. And if you want to frame somebody just because you meet somebody or just because you don't meet somebody, it's a different question.
Ma'am, you keep saying you're being framed, but when, say, Bucci Babu Gorantla, who's your ex-chartered accountant, was arrested last month, he allegedly formulated this entire excise policy, is the accusation that is being made. When you say, can you deny your relationship with him? Can you deny your relationship with Arun Pillai, a Hyderabad-based businessman who allegedly is the front man for you? Can you deny all this?
I will, sir, again, with all due respect, again, I will not deny. I know. Whom I don't know, I don't know. Point here being, my ex-auditor goes somewhere and does something. What am I supposed to do about it? Simple as that.
They claim they have a digital mail trail that will lead to you,
then
and that digital evidence was, there was attempts to destroy it. You changed your phone 10 times last year, your mobile phone. They claim that all of this is part of a digital trail that they have made between distillers, between you, between the Aam Aadmi Party in Delhi.
They're very welcome, sir. If they have the proof, let them present it in the Honorable Court. Let them take me to whatever highest punishment that law will give me. But I have not destroyed any evidence. All the phones that they claim to, that I have destroyed, because they have made it a public document, and they said, Kavita has destroyed so-and-so phones, and they gave all the IEMI numbers. So I checked up at my home. I have all the phones in my home. They can please come and collect it anytime they want to. I will happily give them. They can trace all they want. They can do all they want, and please, if there is anything that lawfully is to be done, let them do it.
You have nothing to do with the liquor business.
Not at all.
Because according to the ED, the scam of the Delhi liquor policy, you said, what is the scam? They claim that in 2021-22, this Delhi liquor policy allowed each wholesaler to reap at least 12% and each retailer 185% in profits, and the South group, of which you are supposed to be the kingpin or queenpin in a way, had control over 9 liquor retail stores, thereby allowing them to control 30% of Delhi's liquor market. In return for that, the Aam Aadmi Party got kickbacks ahead of the Goa and Punjab elections last year. That's broadly the so-called scam. We don't know the amounts because there are conflicting amounts being put out, but they claim they have a trail of meetings, of digital evidence, of mails, which clearly have your name.
Okay, if they have my name, they can present the evidence to the court. Why do the media drama? That is all I'm saying. Why do they want to leak a report every day? Why do they want to drag my name and then say, next we'll arrest Kavita? Arre, arrest kar lo bhaiya, tumhara kuch hai, evidence hai, kuch hai to kar lo.
Do you believe that this entire episode in some way is a huge embarrassment to the TRS, has pushed you on the back foot before the critical Telangana elections this year?
Not at all, not at all. First point being, they've raided multiple politicians in Telangana. They've raided multiple business houses in Telangana. We all understand, people of Telangana understand today that their modus operandi is to raid and rule. Britishers was to divide and rule. Mr. Modi's operandi is to raid and rule. That we understand now very clearly. So when we understand what the problem is, we will find a solution. That is why we are not wasting the time of my party. I don't want to go to the court for an appearance. I will appear when they call me. But if they go for further action, because I have nothing to do with the case, I'll then knock the doors of the court.
So on the 11th of March, when you go to the ED, you will address the question in the same way that you've addressed them, with the same confidence.
Absolutely.
And you're not worried about going the Manish Sisodia way and spending an extended period possibly in prison.
Sir, all I want to tell you is this. Just because you have power, if you want to abuse, just because there is a draconian law, you think you can arrest or lock somebody up, theek hai. Congress government at that point of time used MESA. Now these guys are using ED. Now it is for political parties like us to come together to change that law. It is for the Supreme Court of India to change that law. If they do not do that sumo moto, people like me will become a collateral damage.
And your father has told you that he is fully behind you?
My father has asked me, have you done anything wrong? I said no. Then he said, fight. I'm fighting.
You're fighting, K Kavita. This is part of your fight, I guess, that you've taken all my questions, both on the ED and yes, on the Women's Reservation Bill, where you're also waging another fight. But thank you so much for joining me here on India Today. K Kavita, our newsmaker of the day. Thanks for watching. Okay, let's turn from there to our Get Real India story, where a fire at Kochi's waste treatment plant has been raging now for 7 days and counting. Indian Navy and state officials are engaged in firefighting operations. Residents have been asked to stay indoors, schools have been closed, and many senior citizens are complaining of suffocation. It's our ground report tonight.
The Queen of Arabian Sea under a thick blanket of smoke. Kochi is living its worst nightmare. A fire that started at the Brahmapuram solid waste management site on the 2nd March is still raging. The Indian Navy and the state administration are engaging in firefighting operations.
You can see in the visuals the smoke that's coming out of the fire is covering the entire area. It's not just here. You can see in the that end corner where it's completely filled with smoke. The fire has not been fully doused. What we are understanding is the fire is right now under control, but you can see patches of fire here and there, and it will take another week, is what we are understanding, to completely douse the fire.
The Navy has deployed several helicopters to douse the fire that has made the city air toxic. People in Kochi and its suburbs are angry at the failure to control the fire.
ബുദ്ധിമുട്ടെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ എല്ലാവർക്കും ബുദ്ധിമുട്ടാണ്. എല്ലാ പിള്ളേർക്കും വയസ്സായവർക്കും എല്ലാവർക്കും ശ്വാസം മുട്ടും ചുമയും. ഞങ്ങൾക്കൊന്നും ഇവിടെ നിൽക്കാൻ വയ്യ ഈ സമയത്ത് ഇത്തിരി കുറവുണ്ട്. വൈകുന്നേരം 3 മണിയൊക്കെ ആകുമ്പോഴത്തേക്കും പിന്നെയും തുടങ്ങും. കാറ്റ് വരുന്ന അനുസരിച്ചിട്ട് പുക കൂടിക്കൊണ്ടുവരും. രാത്രി ഒന്നും ഫാനൊന്നും ഇടാൻ പാടില്ല. വീട്ടിൽ എല്ലാ പുക അകത്തോട്ട് കയറി വരും. അപ്പോൾ 2 ദിവസമായിട്ട് പിള്ളേരൊന്നും ഉറങ്ങിയിട്ടില്ല.
Schools and shopping malls in the region were shut for 2 days. Students who have exams are stuck.
ഉച്ച കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ടാണ് പുക കൂടുതലും വന്നെ. അതുകൊണ്ട് അങ്ങനെ പഠിക്കാനൊന്നും പറ്റാറില്ല. പിന്നെ രാത്രിയൊക്കെ ഭയങ്കര പുകയായിരിക്കും. പുറത്തേക്ക് ഇറങ്ങാൻ പറ്റൂല. അകത്ത് തന്നെ ഇരിക്കണേ ഫുൾ ടൈം. പുറത്തേക്കൊന്നും അങ്ങനെ ഇറങ്ങാറില്ല. പഠിക്കാനൊന്നും പറ്റില്ല. ശ്വാസം മുട്ടലും തലവേദനയൊക്കെ. പിന്നെ അങ്ങനെ പഠിക്കാനൊന്നും പറ്റാറില്ല. ഈ പുകയൊക്കെ ആയിരുന്നു.
Elderly citizens are complaining of suffocation and dizziness.
ചുമ ഉണ്ട് ശരിക്കും, പിന്നെ കഫക്കെട്ടുണ്ട്. അല്ലാണ്ട് ഇപ്പം ഒന്നും വേറെ പറയത്തൊക്കെ ഒന്നുമില്ല. പിന്നെ ഈ പുക വരുന്ന സമയത്താണെങ്കിൽ നമുക്ക് ശ്വസിക്കാനൊക്കെ ബുദ്ധിമുട്ടുണ്ടാവും. ഭയങ്കര സ്മെല്ലും ആയിരിക്കും. വാതിലൊക്കെ അടച്ചിട്ടിരുന്നാൽ തന്നെ ഒരു ഇതുമില്ല. പിന്നെയും പരിക്കകത്തൊക്കെ മുറിക്കകത്തൊക്കെ ഇതിൻ്റെ പുകയൊക്കെ ഉണ്ടാവും, സ്മെല്ലുണ്ടാവും.
Heads are rolling. Ernakulam District Collector Renu Raj has been shunted out. NSK Umesh has taken charge as the new collector.
My predecessor, Dr. Renu Raj, has done some fantastic work in the last 10 days in terms of controlling the fire and working on long-term solutions. So there's a fantastic action plan already in place. I think it's my duty to ensure that the action plan is implemented. I think it's a tough situation, but I think we will be able to manage it.
The Kerala High Court racked district officials for waste mismanagement. In a scathing observation, the court said Kochi has become a gas chamber. A week after fire started at Brahmapuram, the people of Kochi don't know when the nightmare will be over. With Shibimol in Kochi, Bureau Report, India Today.
Think about it. If this was happening in a New Delhi, where many of the TV studios are located, or a Mumbai, the commercial capital, it would be breaking news hour after hour. Tyranny of distance, sometimes because it is Kochi in Kerala. Let's take a break. When we return, we'll give you our image of the day and someone who tragically has passed away. The life and times of Satish Kaushik on the other side.
तो अपनी पोजीशन स्क्वायर ऑफ करके अपना प्रॉफिट बना.
India Today Conclave 2023, March 17th and 18th, New Delhi. Listen to Amit Shah, S. Jaishankar, Smriti Irani, Rajiv Chandrasekhar, Shashi Tharoor, Mohua Moitra, Raghav Chadha. The India Moment.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com.
To tonight's good news story, which also comes from Ahmedabad. Here's the story of Manjuba Nu Rasudu, a unique food truck. The idea behind the kitchen is a simple and noble one: to provide food to the needy. Take a look at tonight's Good News Today story.
This is Ahmedabad's unique food truck that serves the underprivileged. Manju Banu Rasoda provides food to the needy.
मंजूबा का रसोड़ा हमने ये वैन 2021 में बनाई है सितंबर में, पर ये हम चला रहे थे 18 से कोविड आया तब तक मैं ये सब चीज़ घर से 100-200 ऐसे लोगों का खाना हर रोज़ शाम को लेके चलती थी. हमारा कॉन्सेप्ट वही है कि सिर्फ कोई भूखा ना सोए.
Food for over 1,000 people is cooked in this kitchen every day. They serve dosa, idli, vada, sambar. The food is prepared in hygienic conditions.
हम लोग खाने में बहुत सारी चीज़ें जो चीज़ें वो लोग अफोर्ड नहीं कर सकते वो ट्राई करते हैं, जैसे डोसा, इडली, मेंदू वड़ा, पिज़्ज़ा, छोले कुलचा, पाव भाजी, गुलाब जामुन.
The initiative now aims to serve malnourished children. For kids, they are providing happy meals.
नॉर्मली हमारे साथ एक दो डॉक्टर भी जुड़े हुए हैं, तो उन्होंने हमें बताया कि सिर्फ बच्चों का जाके हाइट और वेट देना है उनको, तो उसके हिसाब से वो डिसाइड करेंगे ये माल न्यूट्रिशन में है कि नहीं है. और वो लोग हमें दिखते हैं कि ये फूड आप उसको दे सकते हो जिसमें बहुत सारी कैलोरीज हो, प्रोटीन ज़्यादा हो।
The food truck has been feeding the poor since September 2021. Their motto is, "No one should sleep hungry." Bureau Report, India Today.
I have to leave you tonight with a rather sad story. Actor Satish Kaushik is no more. He was not just an actor. Kaushik was also an accomplished screenwriter, director, producer. One will remember him from many of his film hits, be it Calendar in Mr. India or Pappu Pager in Deewana Mastana, the many roles that he played. Kaushik took his last breath in a Gurugram hospital, passed away just a day after that picture, playing Holi there with Javed Akhtar at the age of 67. I leave you tonight with some of his dialogues from movies that will stay with us for a very long time. He was a very, very fine actor. Thanks for watching. Stay well, stay safe. Good night. Shubh Ratri.
बोलो बाटारन स्वामी की भैया, तारीफ उस खुदा की जिसने ये जहां बनाया है। बंदे को शराफत अली कहते हैं।
बाबा जी, मैं थोड़ा छोटा हूँ, थोड़ा काला हूँ, थोड़ा मोटा हूँ, लेकिन मेरी बाकी बॉडी है ना एकदम सलमान खान की तरह है। जानम समझा करो, जानम समझा करो, बाबा जी समझा करो। मामे, ये तेरा दांत सोने का है ना? सोने का तो है पर दूंगा नहीं। दे देना मामे, मामे दे देना, दे देना। अच्छा मामे एक बात बता यार, दिलदार तुझे कैसा चाहिए? दांत चाहिए कि भांजा चाहिए? नहीं, इस बार तो दांत चाहिए, भांजा बिल्कुल नहीं चाहिए। ये तो घास काट रहा है, माली तो नहीं है? भांजे तने फिल्मों में नहीं देखा? हर बड़ा आदमी है ना अपने घर में घास काटता है। हाँ, लेकिन क्यों? वो इसलिए कि इन बेचारों के पास है ना पैसा बहुत होता है, तो इनका है ना टाइम नहीं कटता है, तो अपना टाइम काटने के लिए है ना घर में घास काटते हैं। ठहरो, मेरे कमरे में कोई है जो हमारी बातें सुन रहा है। कौन है? बाहर निकालो उसे, बाहर निकालो उसे। प्राइवेट कॉल। हमारी बातें तो नहीं सुनी तुमने? मेरी बातें तो नहीं सुनी तुमने? बहरे हो? ओके ओके। पिंटो पिंटो वो बहरा है।
राम भगत तुम मन क्रम बानी, चतुराई तुम्हारी।
कम हो गया। मैं आपसे बोल रहा था सेठ जी, सेठ जी, सेठ जी।
अरे ससुरी के सेठ जी की जगह अंडा नहीं बोल सकता था क्या?
आपने ही तो बोला था, इसका नाम लेना भी पाप है।
अबे क्या हो रही है अबे चोर बाजार में हंगामा। अबे ऐसा लग रहा है जैसे शोले फिल्म की शूटिंग चल रही हो।
मैंने कबूतर बनाएगा।
सेठ जी पंगा मत लो, पंगा मत लो।
श्री राम,
पंगा मत लो। आपको नहीं पता, लखन और उसके दोस्त बहुत सारी जादुई चीजें जानते हैं। राम कसम, इन दोनों के दोनों ने आपको इंसान से मुर्गी बना दिया ना, तो फिर मैंने आपकी दुकान में आपके दिए हुए अंडे बेचने पड़ेंगे।
काशीराम,
जय जय राम।
Deal. I got the election. I got ATM. I got plenty on my plate.
He's on the floor, Tom.
Explain to me what he's doing.
He's moseying, terrifying.